Hello. Today, unfortunately, Besma is not available, so I'm going to present the Faith and Astrology by myself. And last time we were talking about 2019 and the effect of Jupiter and the message of the Jupiter. We talked about Jupiter and the messages. But in this program, we are going to talk about Saturn and the warnings of Saturn in 2019 for each horoscope. Of course, the Saturn now is passing through Capricorn, and the Capricorn people they have to be much more careful about their steps. They have to think very detailedly before taking some steps. And so we are going to observe each horoscope and the position of Saturn in 2019. So what sort of problem or what sort of warning we are going to say, we will explain. I will explain today. And we're going to start with Koç in Turkish, Aries. Aries has to be careful about Saturn because it's passing on the 10th house. That means they have to be careful about their career. They can change, they can start a new career in 2019. So before they take an action, they have to consult, they have to think twice, 3 times. Then they must take an action. Their Asmaul Husna is Basit and Fettah, especially Saturdays around between 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock. If they pray with these Asmaul Husna, Basit and Fettah, Aziz and Muiz as well, these Asmaul Husna have got wonderful meaning about career, and this is going to attract the assistance of the Lord of the universe, of course. And when we look at Taurus position, their Saturn is going to is passing now through 9th house. What is the message of this? The Taurus people, they can renew themselves about education. They are going to take some careful steps about education, foreign languages, and going to other countries as well. Before they take an action about this, they have to be careful, please. I recommend them to recite the name of God as Hadi and Rab, and also Basit and Fettah together. And thinking twice and consulting also any Sagittarius person before doing this kind of action. When we look at the Gemini people are going to be tested. They're already being tested by 8th house, and because they renew their faith, they question about their faith, and this is a new gate for them as well. And some of them, they may have some problem with courts, of course. To solve the problems and to ease them, the best Asmaul Husna for them, this is Basit and Fettah first. But secondly, Afif, Settar, Gaffar, Gafur. These names will be very helpful, of course. And Cancer, they have to be careful for their marriages, because Saturn is passing through, especially ascendant Cancer. Their 7th house is marriage house, and Saturn is passing through the marriage house and the partnership as well. So they must be very careful about their marriages, and if they speak to their husbands, wives, the best time is in the afternoon, in between Asr time, ikindi praying time, till the sun goes down. And this period is going to be very helpful for solving the problem, especially Basit and Fettah names. These names must be recited, and the Vedut and the Jami as well. Vedut means the loving God, and the Jami means making together, collecting together. So when you wish his assistance, or when you pray for the union, the God is going to help you about that. But you must speak very carefully and gently and kindly, of course. Then you can solve your problem with your spouse. And when we look the Leo's position, they have to be careful for their health and their working space as well. Some of them will be tested by their working areas, their friends as well, colleagues and boss as well. But nevertheless, they mustn't eat much, and they must keep control their wealth and their health. And also the Virgo. When we look at Virgo, the Virgo is very decisive and looking the details very much. And I recommend the Virgos to think twice, to take time to think twice, because about what? About love and the children, because they are going to be a little bit irritated in the love relations in this period. So I recommend them to keep calm, of course. So Halim, Vedut and Basit Fettah names must be recited in the evening praying time, and this is going to be helpful for them to solving this kind of love problems with lover, spouse, and also children. And when we look at Libra, they're going to be tested. They are already being tested by the family, especially parents, and I recommend them to be much more patient in 2019 to solve the problems, and to be soft, of course. So the El Halim name is important at the moment, and also Basit Fettah name, Rahman ar-Rahim, will attract the mercy of the Lord of the universe to solve the problems. And when we look at the Scorpio in 2019, they have to be careful for their relations with brothers, sisters, and cousins, and some friends like brother. So I recommend them to think twice before they speak to them, and they must be careful for their communications. This is going to be very helpful if they follow these recommendations. And their zikr, pray, the time is in between 1 and 3 o'clock in the midnight, after midnight. And this time we call in Turkish language teheccüd namazı as well, teheccüd pray. In this time, they have to focus on communications, brothers and sisters. They focus for their wish as well, very well. And when we look Sagittarius, their second house is under the control of Saturn in the 2019. So I recommend them to be careful while they're spending their money, and they must pray with Samet and Kerim, Gani names of the Lord. Samet means the God who doesn't need anything, and Kerim means the generous God, and Gani means the rich God, the rich, because he owns everything. So we will wish everything from him, because he is the rich one. So I recommend especially Sagittarius people to be careful while their spendings, and also to do their business mostly on Thursdays. That is going to be much more better, really. And let's talk about Oğlak in Turkish, Capricorn in English. They started the life test last year at the beginning of 2018, and till now they started seeing some difficulties in their life, and that is why they live. The Saturn is giving them a message to be patient, and Saturn is educating the Capricorn people, teaching to be patient. And when we learn patience, then we can make much more progress in our life. If we complain too much about that, we learn nothing about. So the Capricorn people, they must be patient. So I kindly request them to recite Basit and Fettah, but also as Sabr. As Sabr means the patient God, because God never punish someone very quickly, and God waits for the time for everything. So we have to know the time. But the human being think when they see some difficulties in life, oh, this never goes. They believe the problems will stay forever, but that's not correct. The problems will not going to stay forever. Nothing is forever. Just only the Lord of the universe. So in the especially morning time, Saturdays, before the sunrise, after the morning prayer, I recommend Capricorn people to pray the Lord to be much more patient. And when we look at Aquarius people, and they have some problems inside, they don't know the meaning, why they have this kind of psychological squeezing, some problems in their heart. They can't name this. It is because of Saturn is testing their soul now. And I recommend also Aquarius people, after the sunrise, about 40 minutes after in the morning, Saturdays, to talk to the Lord of the universe. This is going to be very helpful. So Mumin and Muhaymin, these two names of the Lord is giving trust. So when they really trust in the Lord of the universe, so they will feel better, of course. And lastly, Pisces, that is also my horoscope, star sign. They may have problems with their friends, some of them, of course, not all, and they must think twice before taking decisions about friends and some organizations. Their organization, they can undertake some responsibilities in this period. Their responsibilities can rise up. So Besma is not here, and presenting the program is on my shoulder, really. This is also responsibility. Of course, I'm kidding. And I recommend horoscopes. Today, this month we're going to see also moon eclipse, and moon eclipse will be in Leo. So the Leos will open a new door in their life. I recommend Leo people to make a good start, thinking twice and wishing the Lord help. And by the way, just a little clue I'm going to tell you. If you give just a little sadaqah, at least to the poor people around of you, this is going to be very helpful. What is your sadaqah? Time and day, as I explained, some periods according to Saturn. This is also your sadaqah time, sadaqah days, months. That's all for this week. Hope to see you next week. Please keep watch our programs on YouTube, because when you miss these programs, you can watch Natural TV YouTube channel. You can share it as well. Please keep watching us. See you.